Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Adventures in Truth livecast. My name is Jim Case. I am the host of the show, and I'm excited that you're here, and I'm excited to be here with you. Um, Before we get started, let's just put it out there from the beginning. I appreciate you being a part of the show. If you're at E360 TV, thank you for participating in that amazing network. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. If you head over to our Facebook page at Adventures in Truth, if you have any questions or comments as we go through the show today, you're welcome to type them into the comment section of the live video feed, and we'll be able to respond to you on the air today. And also YouTube Live, and where else? And you can check us out on my Adventures in Truth website. We're also live on the website as well. So wherever you feel comfortable, wherever you are, please like or share. Let people know we're here. You can share that live window on your feed or anywhere else, and people will be able to participate in the live with us as well. So again, thank you for being here. We're going to have a great show today. We have Shellie Enteen back, our master astrologer, to look at some major influence we have going on here on the 19th, which is Venus retrograde. And so we're going to be talking about love. And as we themed this show, love in the absence of love of self. This 40 days and 40 nights of experience of really looking at, and I find this to be true in my own experience, this kind of deep reflection on where do I place love in my life? How do I utilize love in my life? How do I engender love in my life? How do I focus into love in my life? And it's an interesting and amazing conversation because um, in some ways it feels kind of weirdly unnatural. And I say that really with a kind of a guard because I didn't realize I had that feeling about it. And over time, this has been something for me that has migrated a lot. But even though that feeling exists, I find myself in every situation now that I'm confronting that if there's not something I can immediately do in the situation or immediately contribute to the situation, I simply contribute love. And if I'm feeling conflicted, rather than go down the rabbit hole of conflict, I choose to imbue the situation with love, just to fill it with love. The people, the places, the things, just fill the space with love and let it transform my life and transform the situation. So that's a microcosm of the macrocosm. And Shelley's going to dive into this in a big way with us. Lots of levels and layers to get to about it. So sit tight. We're going to get started as we get ready to dive in here now, and we'll be right back right after this. All right, y'all, www.fearisachoicebook.com. Check it out. We'll keep it short this morning. We have plenty of time to talk about this topic, but this book will change your life because it will change your relationship with fear. Have some great stuff to share with you about some new things with the book. But if you head over to my website, you can tap into the ordering links for Amazon and Barnes & Noble and IndieBound and all that good stuff. You can check out reviews, and you can also contact me if you have any questions or anything about the book or about what I'm doing. So check it out, www.fearisachoicebook.com, and we'll be right back. Here we go. All right, y'all, my world is good. How's your world? This is the year of conscious creation. And this year of conscious creation is almost over. Can you believe it? Like 15 days from now. Amazing. Amazing what's transpired in the year of My World is Good. It's funny, we're having this show today with Shellie and looking at all these aspects that are going on in the heavens, and we've been talking about them all year. And And it's just been an amazing kind of dance to see all of these things unfolding, and to continually be able to contribute some positive energy to all of that, to be able to focus into my world is good, and and really build that energy in my own space and sharing that energy in my world, because that ripple just continues to move out and expand, and the goodness continues to grow. And my perception of that changes radically, because remember, your perception is all about your ideas and thoughts and beliefs and constructs that you carry, blasted out into the environment, and then it's returned to you for you to experience, to assess, to understand, to grapple with, or to integrate, depending on what you're experiencing. So this whole process of my world is good is all driven on that idea of we have the power to change everything. And just a little minor thought process that we can incorporate on a daily basis can begin to myelinate and regroove the brain in ways that help us to see a greater and broader perspective. And when you combine that with changing your relationship with fear, you've opened up yourself to a world of incredibleness of yourself, experiences, and the availability of so much powerful potential and opportunity that you may not have been accessing before, because in the fear-based consciousness, you're dumbing down that opportunity. So my world is good. 10 times in the morning, my world is good. Feel into it. Focus into something in appreciation and deep appreciation, and then let it unfold as you feel into it, and then speak it out loud, and then feel into it some more. 10 times when you wake in the morning, 10 times at the end of your day, and then use it throughout the day to help create a powerful alignment. If you find your alignment slipping, use my world is good to get you back into the state and alignment with that highest self, so that you are operating from your greatest potential. Why not, right? So my world is good. Check it out. We'll be back right on the other side of the break. We're going to bring Shellie on, and we're going to have a tremendous show. So we'll see you on the other side. All right, we are back, and I am going to bring Miss Shellie. You guys have met her, you've known her, you've talked to her, you've seen her. The amazing Shellie Enteen is back with us today. Hi, Shellie. So
Hi.
good to see you, always.
Thank you. Good to
I
be
love
here.
always the energy and wonderful things that you bring to the show to help people really understand stuff that's going on, because it's, as we were talking about a little before the show, it's just amazing as we look at even the last 6 months or a year, and the things that we have seen unfold and continuing to unfold.
Yes.
Just kind of mind blowing to me. And what a great tool and what a great gift to kind of have this guidepost to, these
Mhm.
guideposts to kind of let us know where we are in the playground, as it were.
Exactly. And the potentials that are
And the
supported.
potential.
Yeah.
So let's dive in. Let's talk about it. Let's
All
talk
right.
about. So we decided to focus this Venus. There's lots of levels to this, and we're going to get to the different
Mhm.
levels, but we're going to focus on the love aspect first. But here, let's talk about
Mhm.
Venus and Capricorn and what's going on.
Well, the cycles unfolding, as you mentioned. I really believe this is one of the pieces about Capricorn that started with the paradigm shift in 2020, January. Now, here's Venus, and guess what she just did? She just had a conjunction to Pluto
Mm.
in Capricorn, and she's going to have two more, because when she retrogrades, she's going back. So Pluto was having the Saturn conjunction for the paradigm shift, and what has to change in order for us to shift that old paradigm. And one of these is the Venus energy, definitely. How I love, what I love, and where are there old beliefs that are interfering, I think, with self love.
Mm.
Because as we know, if you don't have love of self, how do you really love other people or other things, or see the world and love the world?
Yep. It's one of the things RuPaul says at the end of every show. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
It's not that we never really think about that consciously, But it really does start, and also the people that we draw into our orbit.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that comes from that place. And Venus has had a difficult time with the Capricorn energy. Let's just put it that way. It's not the kind of sign where Venus is normally feeling at home.
Yeah.
In terms of love and nurturing. And it's a more ambitious Venus. It's a
So,
Venus that,
good.
well, just it needs the approval of the consensus.
Venus does.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So
I'm
even,
wondering, given again, I know me coming from my rather limited perspective of it, but it strikes me the Venus Capricorn relationship here because I'm wondering, and I don't know if this would be more true with like Venus or Neptune as opposed to Venus, but I'm going to throw it here anyway. But um, the idea that this is a time where the love aspect gets grounded, meaning it has the potential to be a foundational element and should be a foundational element to whatever you're building or creating. And what this is
right.
going to reflect is the places where you're not allowing love to build that
Yes.
foundation. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And really the process of the retrograde has been immortalized in mythologies as a goddess going into the underground, which is Pluto's realm,
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the underworld.
Yes.
So she goes to that place for, I call it now, our psychic basement, our, go down into the basement and find the stuff. Start going through those old boxes and
Yes.
the, like start getting rid of the stuff that's blocking you. And then in Capricorn, then you can build new structures.
Mm.
You can have new values. You can come out again with a self value and then start valuing things, which is Venus. Venus is
Yeah.
about our values.
Love that. I want to take a quick second here because Althea has stopped in to say hello and wanted to wish Shellie a happy
Althea,
soul return.
I need to meet you someday, Althea. I really feel you as a sister, and I thank you very much for
Yes,
your
and if
wishes.
and for those of you who may not know that expression, today is Shelley's birthday, and we are getting to celebrate with
Yes,
her today in her
so
solar
many
return.
years on the planet.
Yeah, bringing all this wisdom and incredible experience to our Venus and Capricorn understanding. But from all of us here and for everybody watching, Shelley, wishing you the best of birthdays and thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing some of it with us. We appreciate you.
I'm happy with the solar return,
Yeah.
which is a chart you get for the return of the sun to where it was when you were born, and then you get that energy for the year. So if you have a good Jupiter aspect in the solar return, you get the whole year, even if it moves on.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
So I get to have that.
interesting. Yes, love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
All right, so just to encapsulate, just for before we go into a moment of focus here, so we are looking at how are we, how are we loving ourselves? How are we loving our love? How are we loving our world? How are we interacting in that energy? And is it creating a good foundation for us? Is it not creating a good foundation for
Right.
us? So going down into that basement and saying, I've been carrying this junk around for a long time and
Yes.
I haven't used it, I haven't needed it, haven't even looked at it. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's time to transform it and create some space for more love.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
um, all right, good. So we're going to take a quick break then. We're going to go into a moment of focus and
Right.
we'll come right back right after that to see you some more. And what do I do with it? I don't know, but I'll figure it out. Me and my buttons. I think I took it out. All right. I'll be right back, Shelly. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're going to take a moment to focus here. This is one of my, in addition to everything else we do, one of my favorite things. Well, pardon me while I put up a thing here, because I think I deleted the other one. So this moment of focus for me is taking time to really dial into the energy of what we're talking about today. So we're going to begin by breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as we begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, begin to focus your awareness into the center of your chest, into your heart space. And if you'd like, take your middle fingers and just gently feel around in the center of the breastbone. And in the breastbone there, you'll find a little divot just off to one side or the other. It's just a little soft place that you can just gently merge into as you are focused and just stimulating that piezoelectric energy in around the heart space. Letting that collagen activate as you focus into the heart and as you breathe into the center of your breath, which is in the heart. So as you're breathing, I just want you to settle into where you are, relaxing your body as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you focus deeply into the center of your chest, into the center of your breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, releasing all attachment, releasing all everything that is outside of you at this moment, releasing it all. It'll be there if it needs to be there once you're done. But in this space, let's just release it all. Let's surrender it and create a completely open space that we can allow to be filled with as much love, with as much clarity as we can take in. And so as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, as you're focused deep into the center of your heart space, become aware of your field. Your field is all that you are beyond this physical body. Your field is the energy that you carry. And maybe you've never experienced it before. Maybe you've never taken a moment to feel into that or to see it. Everyone has a little different experience about how they feel or experience energy. Some see it, some have an essence of it, some can clearly see, some feel it. There's lots of options, there's lots of combinations depending on how your system is set up. But I want you to feel into that space for you. And as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, become aware of the enormity of the field, the amount of energy of you, the extraordinary, all of you. We get so caught up in the limitation of the physical body that we forget how much more of than we are than this physical body. And so as you connect to that field, that energy, that massive amazingness of who you are, I want you to consciously call that energy into your heart space. I want you to focus it. I want you to bring that intensity and that focus right into the center of your heart and feel that warmth and tingling as you pull and harness all of that energy into your heart space, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel all of the depth of that feeling. And as you continue to breathe through and as you continue to connect more deeply, just allowing that energy to build in its intensity, we're going to now focus our breath and we're going to count the breath. We're going to count and inhale to a count of 4. And then we're going to rest in the fullness. We're going to feel all of that intense energy. And then we're going to release it all. We're going to surrender it with the exhale to a count of 6. And then after it's surrendered, we will release and be in the space of void, in the space of emptiness, in the space of anticipation of the next moment of creation. Remember that breath is the essence, is this foundation of life. Breath is prana, it's chi, it's powerful energy that every time we breathe is a moment of creation, every single time. So as we breathe through this process, we are creating in conscious awareness in this moment, and then the next moment, and then the next moment, and bringing us firmly and clearly into this present experience, sharing energy together and being able to connect in a much deeper fashion than we have before. Because remember, where 2 or more are gathered, I think is a profound and very true adage. That the more of us gathered in similar energy, the more powerful that energy is, even if we're in different countries and on different continents. So here we go as we focus breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We'll begin with an inhale. As we inhale, 2, 3, 4, feeling that fullness, feeling that richness, letting the relaxation happen through the neck and the shoulders as we purge and release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then as we are completely empty, being comfortable in the void, being comfortable in the not know, resting in the emptiness. And then engaging the lungs and taking in the next moment of breath, breathing in 2, 3, 4, feeling full, feeling amazing, feeling power. and just being in that moment in complete relaxation and then choosing to surrender it as you exhale, letting go of all of that energy and air. 3, 4, 5, 6, as you purge it all out. And now rest in the emptiness, rest in the void, rest in anticipation of the next moment as you engage and inhale. 2, 3, 4, feel amazing, feeling full, and then surrendering it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and resting in that fullness, resting in that beautiful feeling of emptiness, being in anticipation of not know, and allowing yourself to continue that breath process, staying with the counted breath, feeling the fullness as you expand in 360 degrees, allowing the chest to open up, feel all of that expansion, and then rest in that beautiful expanded space. And now you choose to surrender all of that energy and air, releasing all of the old energy and air. It's now history. It's now going away as you prepare for the next moment. Letting it all release to the very bottom so there's nothing left, and you sit in anticipation in that void, in that empty space, relishing that space, being open to all potential and possibility as you re-engage and continue to breathe through the cycle. And as you do, I want you to let these words just kind of wash over you. Take them as you can, let them resonate in you or not. I am the evolution of God realized as matter. I inform and guide that expression as the pure expression of God. I show up as God. I connect as God. I align as God. I am creation realized. And from that, I create, expand, and engage. I am. And just feel that magnificent breath take over as you allow those words to wash over you, as you feel your connection to this moment, present in this moment, as Shellie and I continue the conversation about Venus retrograde, and as we open up to even more potential and possibility in this conversation. And so, going to bring Shellie back into the fold. Let yourself become more aware of this moment. Bring your awareness back to our conversation, and we're going to dive in some more. Welcome
We
back.
are. Thank you.
Where am I? Here we
I
go.
was
Oh,
looking up something just
yes.
before you brought me back, which is something I wanted to mention. As with Mercury retrograde, there is a period where Venus has been traveling through the degrees that she's going to retrograde back over. And she is going to retrograde to that point and then come back over those degrees again when she goes forward, right?
Okay.
So just to let the listeners know, that period started on November 17th at 11 degrees of Capricorn. And so relationship energies and things that have happened between November 17th and the retrograde on the 19th, Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
at 26, may show you, if you look back over just those weeks, you may see some things that you're going to be processing, that they have formed a theme of some sort for you individually
Mm-hmm.
that may be different than everyone else, And then as it goes direct, you go back over, for a little while she disappears from the sky. This is why they call it going into the underground. She crosses the face of the sun. And you know that, did you get that image that I sent you of
I
her?
did. Let's see
Yeah.
here.
It's really a beautiful image of her orbit. It makes
Mm-hmm.
this, you see 5-star petal right in the center there. And where the sun connects to the orbit, those are the places where she disappears in that loop.
Oh, okay.
And, the thing that's interesting is that, for the ancients, when a planet disappeared from the sky or there was an eclipse, they always were, quite focused on what that was going to do. And So for us, we can be focused on the fact that this is a major moment for us in our values, in our love nature, and again, as we said, particularly our love self. With Venus retrograde, when it goes retrograde on the 19th, and
Mhm.
until it goes direct, and that will be in January, believe it or not. It's not going direct until the 29th of January, and it won't be out of the zone of those degrees until it passes 11 and gets back to 26 on the 1st of March. So this is a long process for you. And if you were thinking about relationship, like forming a new one, it's like buying a major purchase during a Mercury retrograde. Maybe you should, you know, and Capricorn itself is a cautious sign, usually. But you may be being pushed into that by some old value, something that you've bought from the consensus. Like this is
Mhm.
like what your book about fear is a choice. It is a choice, but we don't know that as well because we're so used to having to follow what everybody else says
Yeah.
we're
Mass
supposed to
consciousness.
think is
Yep.
good. So it's like with the Venus in Capricorn, people who have it at birth, sometimes they won't let themselves choose a person unless their family, particularly, it's an interesting sign. It's the opposite of Cancer, but it is, do they respect my choice? Respect is the word for Capricorn. Status and respect, very, very important. So it's an interesting thing. You may find yourself being pushed and pulled
Hmm.
some way by what you think other people, including your family of origin, would think of you.
Yeah,
And
interesting. Interesting. I was spending this time reflecting on what I've experienced for myself over
yes.
this last month and a half or so, or quite a month and a half, and with regard to relationship, and I find uh, my area of focus is about how I how I take things too personally in relationships, that I
Mm,
interpret things about me instead of just being about them having an experience of whatever they're
right,
having an experience of.
right.
And it's been an interesting and again, I will share this because it seems to so clearly resonate with what we're talking about, and that is
Hmm.
that whole idea that I opened the show with is
Right.
what I've been kind of quote unquote forced into is this
Hmm.
perspective of not allowing myself to go down those rabbit holes, not allowing, when I was dealing with a situation with my friend that was completely crazy for me because I didn't do anything, and
Right.
I was being judged harshly and treated harshly, and I was like,
Oh,
what is going
yes.
on? And
Right.
and I would talk to my friend, to another friend of mine, and I was
Mhm.
feeling so badly because we would talk on the phone, and I would be like, I don't want to bring this up again, but it just will not leave me alone. And I would apologize and feel terrible. And he's like, Jim, it's fine. It's what you have going on. And please trust me, you're not burdening anybody with this. You barely talk about stuff like this. So when you're talking about it, to you, it sounds like you're talking a lot. But
Right.
the whole thing was, I would say to him, I don't even know what to do anymore because it's like it's so
Mhm.
on me that I can't get a breath. I can't get, so I keep doing what I know to do. And what I knew to do in that moment was every time I'd hit that rabbit hole, I would just stop and go, I'm just going to fill the space with love right now. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else to deal with it. I don't even understand it anymore. But I surround us in love. I fill a space with love. The funny thing about it is that is probably the last place you would have seen me go even a year ago.
Mm.
Even a year ago. And I don't mean because I would be like, well, there may be some of that, but it wasn't a thing of, I think I didn't believe enough in the power of that love energy in my own,
Mhm.
for whatever reason, because I wasn't giving enough to myself and haven't been. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm getting long-winded about it. But I want to share it as an encapsulation because I can see it absolutely brilliantly what's unfolding in my world about, and
Mhm.
it's true of my relationship with Michael, and in my marriage. You know, part of me goes, "Gosh, is everything okay?" Continually, you know, and stopping and going, Jim, just put love in the situation. If there's something there, if there's anything to deal with, if you have stuff going on, it'll show up. Just continue to love and continue to
Mhm.
connect to that love. And
Mhm.
so the end result, particularly with my friend that was really challenged, was as hard as it was to continue to focus into that love space. The resolution that occurred between us was nothing short of spectacular.
That's great.
Nothing short. I mean, it still blows my mind when I think about what the feeling was for for the months that went on, and
Right.
then in the moment. And I kid you not, we were on a back patio. We were on a trip that we were with the rest of our friends, and we had not resolved this, and it was a big clunk in the middle of the group.
Oh.
And he asked me to go speak. We went outside to talk, and he started sharing all of these very deeply personal things that were he was experiencing, and
Mhm.
finally able to talk about, so that
Mhm.
we could rectify this.
Mhm.
And honestly, standing there in that conversation, because if you remember, all the time during all of the crazy looping and going down the rabbit holes, I had so many things I had to say to him. I had so many things I wanted to say about how you're doing what you're doing, and how bad this feels, and how this is not okay, and
Mhm.
how that's, and I knew it all, and I could see it all, and and then I would go, Jim, just love the situation, just fill it with love, just give love here. And the he talked for probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and I just listened. And the more he talked, the more my heart opened, and the more my heart swelled. And when he stopped talking, I said, I hope this doesn't make you uncomfortable. And I'm sorry if it does, but I need to say this to you. I love you, period. And
Mhm.
then we talked about some other things. But that moment was just spectacular because it was so clear and so profound. But it feels like that whole dynamic of, where am I going to put where the importance here? Is the importance in the love, or is the importance in the need to be right? Is the importance in the love, or is the importance in the surrender? So anyway, that went long winded, but I wanted to share
No,
because I
and
think it's
that's a
super.
really that's one facet, yes, that you can be in that, and it depends on the circumstance, I think. I
Mhm.
mean, it's not I don't think you can give that prescription to everyone, because sometimes we we do bring in relationships that aren't beneficial.
Yes.
And we do that because we have some kind of an unconscious belief, and it's not a self-loving belief.
Hmm.
So then you kind of get attracted to people who are going to show you
Yes. The depths of your
their
lack of
lack of
self love.
loving for you.
Yes.
And so you may keep trying, so in other words, you can look at this, and your experience is beautiful, and probably, a great idea to do anyway,
Right.
you
And that's
know.
what I've been sharing a lot of, is
Right.
it's amazing to me the difference putting love into the situation changes the situation inside me
Yes.
instantly.
Inside the self, it's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because even that great Capricorn yogi, Yogananda, he says if something, if it's not a good thing that's going on with you with somebody, see if you did anything. If you did, take the responsibility for it.
Right.
But if
Exactly.
you didn't, bless the person and exit the scene. you
Yes.
know?
Exactly that.
Don't wish bad things for them. Keep sending love into that person, but
Yeah.
you can get out of the way. You
Yep.
know.
And that's exactly what happened for me for months. Was all
Well,
I
but
could
I
do
mean,
was,
you may find that you stay out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, because
yes,
there may be
that could well
people
be the case.
listening who have, abusive people around
Yeah.
them,
Yeah, and a
and
very
they're
good point. And a
thinking,
very good point.
they think
Well,
they have to stay in, and that's why I'm talking about it, is because of the Capricorn
yeah.
quality.
And may I also say here, because I think it's an important clarification. I love what you brought up because it's significant and important to people to recognize that it may
Hmm.
not always be a resolution situation with that other person. But the
But the
thing about the thing
resolution.
about bringing the love into the situation is that the
Yeah.
love will guide you if you allow it.
Hmm.
Love will not guide you to stay in abuse. Love will guide you to making choices that may feel hard, like any other choice that feels challenging. But
Hmm.
the love will guide you if you allow it. Love is not about creating some woo woo fantasy in your head. That's a
Hmm.
woo woo fantasy in your head. That's not love.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of woo-woo fantasy right now
Yeah, a lot of
going
woo woo fantasy right
on.
now. Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you,
So,
Neptune. You know.
well, let's take this a little further because I know if you're ready to. Are we ready to go here yet? Because I put and money too,
And
because
money
and
too.
money has also something to do with this.
Definitely. And Venus rules our personal values and our valuables, including money. In her rulership of Taurus is where that lives. And right now, what I believe we're seeing, this is just me, you might not hear everybody say this, but the Saturn, which rules Capricorn, in
Hmm.
square with Uranus in Taurus, which Venus rules. So there's a little connect going on with this change versus the resistance to change. So Venus in Capricorn is going to be about the assertion of traditional money. So we see Bitcoin going crazy right now. Like the banks, the big banks in the countries, the establishment Capricorn system is not pleased with the Bitcoin and the electric currency, which is unmanageable, completely out of control, right?
Hmm.
So Venus going here, retrograding. Yes, if you're looking at the world right now, there's a lot. This is going to be a war. This is a below the surface war. I've read somewhere that the countries want to do their own electric currency,
Hmm.
right? And the banks. I always thought that from the beginning. The banks aren't going to, they're not going to be so happy about this, right? So you, as a person with your own money, um, this isn't a time for you to make a major move. Venus retrograde would not be the time for you to design your portfolio and get, it should be let it go to March if you can, you know what I mean? Because there's fluctuation and change that's happening in the world that's can affect you in
Yeah.
terms of my money and my valuables. So there's a directive out here now that is asking for half the cars in the country to be electric by a certain
Hmm.
time. Well, you own a vehicle. That's a possession of yours. So,
Right.
these issues in Capricorn, it wouldn't be the same necessarily if it was Venus in another sign
Hmm.
retrograding. But
Right.
the fact that it's in Capricorn, we have to be paying attention also and not, again, thinking and pondering and looking, but not necessarily taking major steps.
So it's
That's
interesting. I mean, because even the inclusion of money, money for me is about is a physical form of energy,
mhm,
um, and it's just so interesting to me to see how this is impacting really profound flows of energy into our experience. I mean, we're talking about the
yeah,
love element, we're talking about money. These are all foundational elements for the human experience, really,
yeah,
and foundational in the sense that our sense of security, our sense of connection from different directions is all kind of
mhm.
siphoned into this. And wow, what a tangled web we weave
Yeah.
in those areas, and the confusion we put into all of those areas.
Mhm,
So what a great opportunity to have a couple months to really get to unravel it,
mhm,
hopefully, to get to see where you are and make different choices. But again, this idea of let the be with the energy, feel into the energy. Don't try
Mhm.
to drive the energy because it won't work.
Right. That's a
It's
really
like
good point, Jim.
feel into it.
You're not
Because
driving this one.
oh no, and I don't care how good you think you are,
Yeah.
it
And
just it's not.
here at this time of the year also, we do a lot of purchasing and wanting to get, you know.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
can, maybe also be looking at what is it that we want, what do we really want? What is it that really nurtures and, you know, Venus is Taurus rulership is also about your relationship to your own body.
So really,
Yes,
we're really getting it.
you are getting it because you know how they out there in Capricorn land, public image, public life, appearance, what is valued, you know. So, especially for women, this is a bit more of an issue. The
Yeah.
divine feminine is
Yes.
getting ready to rise up big time. She's already,
Woohoo!
on the way.
Like, where the hell you been, woman? Let's go.
And the divine feminine is within men also.
Yes. Yes.
So it's an interesting time, and we'll see when we come out of this Venus in Capricorn. It's been interesting, the anti-aging. Capricorn is the sign of age and time, the old
Hmm.
Grim Reaper and all that. So we've had a lot of value about having to stay young, and that's been going on. And
Yes.
thin, skeletal. Capricorn is the skeletal system in the body. So, how attached to that are you? You know, like what
Layers
kind of
of
a
them. Yeah.
follower of fashion? What is are you dedicated to you and your body's health? Or are you dedicated to somebody else's value?
Version of that. Yep. Very
Yes.
cool. All right, we're
Yes.
going to take a quick break, Shelly. We're going to do a quick commercial, and then when we come back, you're going to get to talk to the crew about what you have going on, and being the end of the year and coming into a new year. There's, I'm sure,
Mhm.
lots of good things people can avail themselves of with you.
Yes.
So we will be back right after this. We'll be right
Okay.
back. Boom.
The Science of Transformation method. And I can't tell you the difference that it's made in my life.
This program is all about you coming into the greatest form of you. All right, guys, www.thesciencetransformation.com. I'd love to work with you. My work is all centered on transformation and activating the prefrontal cortex of the brain, creating new grooves in the brain to build new habits and new ways of approaching life. And the core of that, of course, is changing our relationship with fear. And what the science of transformation is about that transformation, and then about reframing our experience as we move forward so that we are moving into the greatest level of potential and opportunity for us as individuals and collectively as human species. So check it out, www.sciencetransformation.com. Powerful stuff. Love to work with you. And we're going to bring Shelly back in here and have her talk to you about all the good goings on in Shelly's world. So I'm going to
Okay.
disappear for a minute, and we'll see you in a minute.
Goodbye. Bye, Jim. So I love that what you just played, because what I was just talking about is you just saw that in the science of transformation in learning how to break out of your shell. A shell is a structure, and this Venus going through Capricorn also climbing a mountain to get to the true self. Very, very important. So that was great to see the synchronicity there. I am offering people who are watching this show only, only you, $20 off my yearly reading for you. You hear a lot of information. If you can't apply it to your own chart, it's good to know in general, but it's even better to know what's going on and where it is. Where is that Venus retrograde for you? I know where it is for me, and I see it happening, and it's wonderful. And when I know, then I can use energy. That's the whole point of the reading, is to get a validation and an understanding about how to move forward with that energy instead of just getting, there you are, it's happening, and I don't know what to do. So avail yourself of that by contacting me. That's the website there he's showing you, and my email address. You'll have to let me know that you saw the show, Adventures in Truth, and I will be happy to get your information and do a reading for you, which I usually do in a teleconference call line because I can record that, give you an MP3 for you to download, and you can be on the call with me, or you can ask me to just do the reading and then send some questions to me. So that's what's going on. I'm very excited to be finishing a chapter that I am contributing to a book on the centaurs, which are heavenly bodies. Chiron is one of them. And I've been asked to write the chapter on his wife, Sheriklo. And it's been very exciting for me. And this is a process. And this is a book for people who are students, mainly of astrology, but probably other people too. But that has been exciting, and other work that I'm doing. And so, check with me, go to my website, sign up for my blog, and you'll get podcasts, and you'll find out what's happening in my publishing world too. So I'm ready, Jim, if you want to come back. Happy to see you. You're still in the studio. Are you still there, Jim?
Caller, are you there, caller?
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Guys, please avail yourself. What a generous offer. And for all of you out there, if you've not had a reading before, if you've not experienced it, it's quite a profound experience in validation. Mm-hmm. And you'll be pleasantly and amazingly surprised about what you'll learn about the nature of the universe in relationship to you, because it's not random in any stretch of the imagination. And the things that you've experienced show up in your chart. Believe it or not, it's an amazing thing. And what Shellie's gift is the ability to tell that story in a very compelling way that helps you to understand where you are now. And what an amazing sense of validation that is to come to that clarity about self through this opportunity, because now as you move forward, you have a greater sense of confidence that stuff is not unfolding randomly. Stuff is folding in a very, very profound sense, in a very profound way for you. So check that out, www.shellieenteen.com. Reach out to her. Definitely worthwhile, and especially coming into the aspects we're dealing with and in the new year, what a great opportunity, a great time to do it. So
thank you, Jim. There's a lot of changes coming up.
A lot of changes.
I'm sure we'll be talking about nodes changing.
Stay on top of them. Stay on top of all this stuff. I've been enjoying the every night. My friend and I we do about 2.5 mile hike every day, and at night it's been, especially because it's getting dark earlier, we're getting the joy of seeing Venus and Saturn and Jupiter lined up continuously. And I find myself I'll just stop in the middle of the road and just be like, wow, and just feeling this kind of pyramid of energy just flowing. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever felt like that before, but it's something about it for me is just breathtaking and beautiful and spectacular. And
yes,
so I'm really excited about, a little nervous, but mostly excited. about all this
I
change and all
I
this
don't
stuff.
have a bad feeling for next year, really. I mean,
Mhm.
we're ongoing, but I kind of have some hopes.
Yeah. Yep. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things. I mean, not only internally, but externally, things are evolving in incredible ways. Stuff
Mm-hmm.
is coming to light in
Right.
ways that we never anticipated or even thought were going to be possible. So
No. Never.
it's
Believe
pretty
me.
extraordinary. So, in the last few minutes that we have, what would you like to say about this Venus retrograde in Capricorn situation to sort of complete our experience today, to give people something to chew on as they leave this show?
Well, you will get what you're supposed to get. Don't worry about that. If you're conscious of it and you know it's happening, you will receive. Also, if you find something that you can't quite figure out why, then, go see somebody who can help you find out the core of the nugget that's in there that you could transform, to help you move forward. Because this is a time when you get to move forward with new values
Yeah.
and a new sense of self-love and a new sense of loving what's in the world. The world is, as you say, good. It's beautiful. We're hearing so much stuff we hear, we forget how beautiful the world is around us. So that's what I would say. You
That's
can find
beautiful.
it
I love it.
again.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the theme that we, oh, you know what I wanted you to talk about for a minute, because I brought it up and I put it in the intro and we didn't really get to talk about it. And that's the 40 days and 40 nights deal.
Oh, isn't that an interesting
Um,
thing? That's so biblical, isn't it?
it's so biblical, and it struck me like a ton of bricks when I was doing it and I was reading about that and I went, oh my goodness. This is,
Well,
oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Look at her creating a star. Also, she creates the star formation, the petaled star. Yeah, it's very profound. It's all connected.
So
And
consider this time, and the reason I bring it up is because I think that, to what we were ending with earlier,
mhm,
if you think about the biblical figure that went through 40 days and 40 nights
yes.
of torment in their own experience of trying to understand who they are and why has God forsaken me and what the heck is going on, this is that time. This is that time for us to to take that
Yes.
journey on the
Yes.
inside and to
True.
allow for that 40 days. Give yourself 40 days from now. Give yourself that time to just be with the experiences without having to force or push, or be okay with being uncomfortable for a little while. Be okay with what's being presented, so that you can find that deepening sense of love and connection. Because in the end, that 40 days and 40 nights ended with a clarity of the depth of love and connection that existed for that individual, and
Mhm.
and the reaffirming of the gloriousness of that connection. So that's what I would say from my perspective. How would you like to address that?
I I think it's interesting that I just saw something about an old Celtic um, myth and how they were referring to stars.
Hmm.
Some of these myths, some of these are literal, actual astronomical, you know, they're written down as stories. And, they refer to these processes in the heavens. And so, yes, you're right. I think we can have that experience and we can come out of it into a new land.
Yes. Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Shellie, always a wonderful and deep pleasure having you here. If
Me
I
too.
don't talk to you before the holidays, have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season.
Thank you. And you
And
too. And all.
Happy New Year. I know we're seeing each other in January. Did we already decide that? I'm sure we are.
I
One way or
guess
the
so. I'm probably.
other.
I'll
I
check
think we
my
are.
calendar.
Okay. Oh no, we are. We're already seeing each other on the 5th.
Okay, good.
It's already happening. So good. I'm
Yay.
looking forward to that. We'll get over the holidays and get to dive into all this energy. We'll be in it full force, so it'll be fun to talk about that.
Yes, indeed.
Everybody out there, we'll see you again soon. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for being a part of the show. We appreciate you very much. And we will see you next time on Adventures in Truth. Thanks, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Adventures in Truth Livecast. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to learn more about Jim's book, Fear is a Choice, Unraveling the Illusion of Our Separation from Love, check it out at www.fearisachoicebook.com. Also check out Moments of Truth, a new offering from Adventures in Truth. If you'd like to work with Jim, check out www.thesciencetransformation.com to book a session. Tune in live every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time and every Friday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Or look for our new releases and podcasts every Monday. Until next time, be well, and we'll see you again on Adventures in Truth Livecast.